What I'm trying to show the class tonight is that if you don't make it out of here, you need to understand what out of here is. Out of here is the dark side. If you don't make it out of here, you're going to be left in all this darkness. And this is the threat that Jesus Christ been threatening Israel with. And we're going to see that. Give me the book of Psalms chapter 148. You're going to be left far away from the presence of God. You're not going to be making it to the kingdom of light. You're going to go down into obscurity.
Take my mind beyond the trees. I was slipping into darkness.
What?
Unspeakable words.
He heard them talking up there. Paul's ears was actually open to hear in God the Father's kingdom. And they were walking around talking about things that Paul couldn't speak about. Now, when you look at the scriptures, you understand why Paul couldn't speak about it. Because the scriptures tell you that it takes God the Father to reveal the things that is in store for the nation of Israel. In that kingdom of light, all those life forms, all those angelic forms that exist, is walking around in that kingdom talking about you. Every last one of them. And Paul was sitting there listening to it, looking at it, and said he can't even, it's unlawful for him to bring back what he heard them saying. And I'm going to prove all that. About the Israelites that's on the planet Earth in the dark side. The Israelites that's stuck down there on God's green earth around all that death, emptiness, and darkness. And they're sitting up there talking about you. Everybody got that, right? Read on.
Which is not lawful.
Which is not what?
Lawful.
Read on.
For a man to utter.
Read on.
Verse 5.
Come on.
Of such an one will I glory. Yet of myself I will not glory.
Yeah, he said, I will glory about that because that man done made it to God the Father's kingdom. Now give me the book of Psalms chapter 148. Give me the book of Psalms chapter 148. What I'm trying to show the class tonight is that if you don't make it out of here, you need to understand what out of here is. Out of here is the dark side. If you don't make it out of here, you're going to be left in all this darkness. And this is the threat that Jesus Christ been threatening Israel with. And we're going to see that. Give me the book of Psalms chapter 148. You're going to be left far away from the presence of God, where nothing is alive. You're going to feel like Esau. You're going to feel like you're on top of the world traveling, looking for life, and you ain't going to find nothing. All you're going to see is death as far as you can see. You're going to look for another planet to live on, and you're going to see a storm on a planet that's bigger than the planet Earth. How you going to land on a planet that got a storm that's bigger than the planet you live on? In other words, God is showing you this is a prison. I got you in a prison. You're already trapped. The thing is, only the righteous is getting out of here. Read that. Psalms chapter 148, verse 4.
Praise him, ye heavens of heaven.
Read it one more time.
Praise him, ye heavens of heaven.
Ye heavens of heavens. Read on.
And ye waters.
And ye waters. Read on.
That be above.
That be above. Read on.
The heavens.
The heavens. It's telling them to praise him. Because that's where the life force is. That's where all the life is. Do everybody understand that? Everybody got that? Now let me just show you something. God gave us an example. Remember I told you earlier that usually things that happen physically is just a symbol. It's symbolic on what's going to really actually happen spiritually. Remember I told you that earlier? Let's look at something. God did something on the planet Earth to let us know. Before we look at that, let's look at something that Jesus Christ said. Let's look at the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 8. Let's look at that. Matthew chapter 8. Matthew chapter 8 and verse 11. Let's read that.
And I say unto you, that many shall come from the east
Come on.
and west,
Read on.
and shall sit down with Abraham and Isaac and Jacob
Read on.
in the kingdom of heaven.
And where?
The kingdom of heaven.
Abraham is alive, Isaac is alive, Jacob is alive. Where are they? They're in the kingdom of heaven. And many Israelites is going to come from the east, the west, and sit down with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven. Read on.
Verse 12.
Come on.
But the children of the kingdom
But the children of the kingdom, read on,
shall be cast out.
shall be what?
Cast out
Read on.
into outer darkness. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Now, here's the difference. For the first time, you actually getting a visual on what that outer darkness is. You actually now know what God is talking about. You're not going to be making it to the kingdom of light. You're going to go down into obscurity, complete darkness. Everybody understand that? Everybody got that? Now let's show how God gave an example. The reason why God gave this example is he's showing that every nation is going to go into that outer darkness. Every nation. There's no way they're getting out of that. And the only ones that's going to get out of that is the children of Israel. When did God show this? He showed that in the land of Egypt. Get the book of Exodus chapter 10. Get the book of Exodus chapter 10. God is showing that that light is only for the children of Israel. So you got all these nations rising up talking, and they talking is in vain. Exodus chapter 10, and let's start at the 20th verse. Exodus chapter 10, verse 20. Read that.
But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart.
Read it one more time.
But the Lord hardened Pharaoh's heart.
The Lord wanted them to go through this darkness. Everybody clearly see that? Read on.
So that he would not let the children of Israel go.
Read on.
And the Lord said unto Moses, stretch out thine hand toward heaven.
Read on.
That there may be darkness.
That there may be what?
Darkness.
Come on.
Over the land of Egypt.
Read on.
Even darkness.
Read on.
Which may be felt.
Even what?
Darkness which may be felt.
Darkness that you can feel. You everybody understand that? That's talking about some deep blackness. Just picture everything without the stars. Deep blackness. You ever see a light go out on the highway or something like that, and you turn your headlights off? Deep blackness. It get dark out there. Without electricity and some candles, it get dark. The nighttime was always something that people knew it was something not right about it. Even children know. To get out the dark and turn the light on. Everybody understand that? Read on.
Verse 22.
Come on.
And Moses stretched forth his hand toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness.
And there was what?
A thick darkness.
Come on.
In all the land of Egypt.
Come on.
3 days.
3 days. Read on.
They saw not one another.
And it was so black that they couldn't see each other. Right? You've been in a room before where it's been so dark you couldn't actually see the other individual, right? But this was actually darker than that. This is some darkness you can't even imagine. Read on.
Neither rose any from his place.
Come on.
For 3 days. But all the children of Israel.
Read one more time.
But all the children of Israel.
Read on.
Had light.
Read on.
In their dwellings.
Now God was showing something when he did that. He was showing the whole world something. I'm going to leave the nations in darkness. And all the children of Israel is going to have light.